And that's
Every
always
episode
a soundbite.
is always the first soundbite.
And it's always a soundbite of me being like, "Are we live?"
Yes.
We're always live.
We take behind the scenes literally. So
Right.
welcome everybody to episode 013, the Steve Nash episode. Shadi's looking at me. He's totally
Steve
confused.
Nash. What?
Steve
Is that his
Nash's
number?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna-
his number.
yeah.
Forget
Steve
about
Nash went to my high school. I should know this.
it. You should know
I know, I'm
that.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so as join with me, Sam here as always. My words are all jumbled up now. I have here Shade.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. And we have a guest here. Want to
Yes.
introduce the guest?
We've got my good friend Dan Burgar on the show here today. Dan is going to talk to us about everything VR, AR. Dan's got a really impressive... Everything? He knows everything. He's got a super impressive career in the tech industry and specifically in the VR, AR space. Has been the president of the VR Association.
So
for
while
like
you
2.5
guys are listening to us
years.
ramble, have a second screen open and then just look him up on LinkedIn.
Yeah, just look him up on LinkedIn. He's got so much. Even us before the show, we're just like, okay, we need to know what
Dan did this.
I don't
Dan
sleep.
did
I don't
that.
sleep.
No,
They call me the man with many hats.
and he does that thing where, and this is true of a lot of Vancouverites, not just you, but he does that thing where you can build you can have 10 years of experience in 5 years if you just do 5 things at the same time.
Yeah, I know. It's
And there's just 10 years, I don't know, Facebook experience. Facebook's been only around for 10 years. And it's okay.
I was just scrolling down on LinkedIn wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Don't
Yes.
scroll
Good.
too low.
Hey, we all start.
So I mean, to get back on board, Dan's obviously had a very impressive career in tech, a lot of experience in VR, AR. MR doesn't get enough love in that. You need to add more to the name, maybe.
There's too many acronyms.
We already
there's
can't pronounce
XR, there's StarR. There's way too many R's.
What's Star? Star.
I heard that
Rar.
term being coined, and I think a lot of the film guys are using that.
Oh,
Just
okay.
no,
We're gonna
call it VR, AR.
We're gonna go
we
through
don't need
all
more
the
than that.
R's, so
Yeah.
everybody feels represented. But you are the president of the Vancouver VR ARA for almost 2.5 years now, so we'll definitely go a little bit into that.
Okay.
But with our show, as always, because we are a Vancouver show, there's a couple things that we have to talk about, and we always start with the weather. So what's our weather report look
Weather
like?
forecast for the upcoming days is rain. Yeah, that's it.
Rain for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's rain with a really high chance of rain.
So probably rain.
Yeah.
This is gonna be. We
There's
can just clip this. Exactly what you said. We can just use it again for the next 5 episodes.
That's a lot of rain, guys. There's a rain jacket brand called Rains. Go and buy yourself one.
Shout out to Rains. It's and today, if you go today, only today, exclusively on this podcast, you will probably get a discount because it's Black Friday.
Yeah, not because of us.
Not because of us.
There you go. So that's your forecast.
Yeah, you got a discount. You got a weather forecast. Because this show is called Lunch Academy, we always want to bring our guests and introduce them to some foods. So with you being the infamous Dan Burgar, Shade and I thought, well, what would be appropriate? There's nothing more appropriate, so I'm going to go grab.
We got you some burgers.
Oh.
Yep. We figured you would be a master, so we got 2 different kinds, and
Oh my God.
we'll let you taste
This is amazing. This is the best podcast already.
I know. So I went to pick up these burgers, and I was telling the guy what it was for, and he was like, oh, it's going to take a little while. And I'm like, no worries, I've got to go pick up another burger. And he's like, what do you do for a living? I was like, I'm just burger runs.
It's not your first time there, eh?
No.
Oh, this one came with complimentary fries.
Yeah, so he threw in complimentary fries because I told him it was for a podcast. So I'm going to cut this in half, and then you can have
So we're
half.
not going to tell you where the burgers are from, but we do want you to try both burgers.
Great.
Shade picked one and I picked one, and we've been kind of going back and forth in the office because we don't do any actual work.
Ray, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ray.
Yeah, hopefully Ray's not watching this.
But we've been debating which one would be better. So we need you today to kind of give us either. We did a scale of 1 to 3.
I'm trying to cut this in half.
She's trying to just make it all clean and pretend like we're pretentious eaters.
Yeah.
But 3 means you'd recommend it, highly recommend it. 2 means it's okay, it's all right, and then 1 is definitely just stay away. It's super simple.
Okay.
We're not gonna make it too complicated. This isn't Yelp here.
Burger,
Yeah, you just give them the whole burger. I thought that was the plan anyway.
Eat this half. I sort of cut it.
Watch Dan eat 2 burgers on the show. That's the show.
Just take a bite. And then take a bite of the other one and tell us which one you like best.
Slide that over there.
The Burger Master. Has anyone ever called you that before?
I am what I eat, right? This one's good.
Do you want to cut that one, or are you good?
Yeah,
I'll
cut it in
that
half.
one.
I hope you don't mind my fingers all over this food.
We do wash our hands.
Speak for yourself.
Not before the show. I just mean as a general statement. Dan's never coming on our show again.
This is a rough start.
All right, so that one's good. That one's A. We'll call that A. You're keeping track of which one's which, right?
Burger A, yes.
Burger A is good.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Should I rate it now?
No,
eat the second one
and then
first.
tell us which one you like best.
Yeah. Wash it down.
I gotta clear my palate.
Yeah. Dang, that was loud.
You tell us which one you like best, because I feel like you would know these things.
Me?
Yeah.
So here's the secret. Well, we spent all of season 1 as you kind of enjoy your bites. We spent all of season 1, you feeding me vegan food, and it's been well known now that I don't partake in the vegetables. So I look at this burger, I see your classic tomatoes and pickles and all that kind of stuff. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure they gave me the wrong burger because the one I ordered did not have mushrooms. So
bonus.
It's okay.
It's a bonus. Who's gonna complain? Nice. Oh no, you threw it in. You threw it in. Extra mushrooms. Oh no. Yeah. I guess some people don't like mushrooms, but whatever.
This one's good too.
Let's hear.
All right, so let's hear the results.
I'm gonna have a fry.
The first one I would give 2 out of 3.
Okay.
This one probably a 3 out of 3.
So this one's better.
You know the best.
This one's better, yeah.
This one's better. What about it is better?
More flavor on this one.
Okay.
And the fake cheese. I don't know.
He knew it was fake cheese.
You know what? I told the guy no cheese because I wanted it to be both plain burgers.
Yeah.
And then when I came and picked up the burger, he was like, I added some cheese in there for you. As like a bonus, and I'm like, God damn it. I asked for no cheese.
So we knew the fake cheese would be a giveaway. So it turns out this one's from where?
So this one is from meat. It's actually vegetarian.
Oh.
Could you tell?
I could tell, actually.
This one.
Okay.
This one's
but it's good.
This one's from meat.
And this one's from meat, and this one's from Save on Meats.
This one's from Save on Meats. But this one
is
has
this
a fake
veggie
cheese.
burger?
No, this is a regular burger.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
this
that
is the
tastes
veggie burger.
exactly like a normal burger.
Oh, see? Real meat does prevail.
Yeah.
But I will try it later for those of you guys. Like
and
it looks enough like meat that...
Meat in Gastown is delicious, but we really wanted to represent Save on Meats because I'm not going to go into the whole spiel. Just Google them. They're doing some really, really great work. Pretty much proceeds that go to Save on Meats go to feed others in need. So they've got like a tally of like how many people they've helped feed, and it's really high. So if you ever crave a burger that's just like your regular delicious diner style burger, go to Save on Meats. They're doing some great stuff. And it goes to a good cause.
I do like a good diner though. Yeah. There's like
the
I live in Coquitlam.
Cool.
There's like no diners there. Almost no diners. Now, if you run a diner in Coquitlam, let me know. Feel free. But before we get too far away, I do also have an announcement. And this is new for, I guess, Dan as well. But our producer, it's her birthday tomorrow. So if you guys are watching this live, please leave a happy birthday comment to Giselle. Make sure it's straight to Giselle. We want to show her some love.
Happy birthday, producer lady.
Producer lady, 2 words, spaced in the middle, no dash.
We don't like to give her a name. It just makes her feel too special.
Yes, so
just
make sure.
Lady.
And if you're listening later on the podcast, stop what you're doing. Like just be safe, park to the side, and then go on Facebook, find this episode, and then wish her a belated happy birthday.
There you go.
So that's what we want everybody to do. So if Dan, for those that obviously we're live on air right now, but we do have a podcast, so people make sure you're subscribing to it. We do post teasers and stuff on our Instagram as well, Facebook, Twitter. Which one am I missing? YouTube, other networky thingies. Launch Academy HQ for all of that. So make sure you're following us all of that there, especially the next 2 weeks on Instagram. At the end of the show, we'll talk a little bit about a new project that we're going to be doing in preparation for the next episode.
Sweet. I know nothing about this.
You're the one who planned.
What?
Forget it.
Okay.
We're not going to have this debate on air. It's like, is this a schnick? No, it's not a schnick. This is real.
This is how I pick fights with Sam. All right, let's go back to
let's focus though.
Our special guest, Dan.
So, obviously we're going to talk a lot about VR and AR, but like it's actually one of the leading tech hubs now in terms of the technology sector. I'm reading the stats here, and it's 150,000 people, driven more than 2.3 billion in revenue for the province itself.
Yeah.
That's some crazy statistics for something that wouldn't be something that people normally think about. And right now, there's over 150 VR AR companies, and I know we'll go a little bit further into that in the future, but you're expecting a lot more even in the year to come.
Yeah, it's actually 250 plus now. Yeah.
In Vancouver.
It's crazy.
Sweet. And that's like skyrocketed. What was it like 3 years ago?
3 years ago, 15.
Yeah,
that's nuts. But let's kind of get back into the very beginning. Like, how did you get involved? I guess first with tech, and then VR. Like, what did you study, and like kind of your journey up?
Yeah, so went to school for business, and then got my degree in that, and then. What brought me to Vancouver actually was going to Vancouver Film School, and I took a program called Entertainment Business Management. Had no clue which angle I really wanted to go. I was just like, it'll take me to Vancouver, so see how it goes. And turns out that I didn't get into the film industry because I knew early on within a few months that film wasn't for me, but it really kind of got me to understand more on the entertainment business side of things, and it was kind of a good step to understand what I really wanted to do. But what got me into tech was just by accident. Like, I had no clue I wanted to get into tech, and started working for a few companies, and one that really stuck was working with Momentous, and I helped them build out their business development side of their company, and really help get them to work with companies like Lululemon. We're working with some of the biggest brands in the world, building technology solutions for them. And that's really when I started getting this love for technology, and seeing how we could actually help companies out, how we can empower people. Yep. And they sent me to this conference called Mobile World Congress back in 2014 or 2014 in Barcelona.
Oh, fun.
And
I think I have a friend going this year. It's soon.
Oh, really?
Right?
What's that? It's one of the biggest
soon.
conferences in the world. It's too
Ashton
big
is
almost.
Going.
Oh, Ashton's going. Yeah.
Hi, Ashton.
Shout out to Ashton.
Hey, Ashton.
I don't know you, but
and I put on my first VR headset, and it was this profound experience where I was just like, wow, holy shit, this is gonna change the world. Am I allowed to swing on here? Sorry.
Yeah, you
I just have to. I just have to add the little E at the bottom.
And it was just weird because it was just this normal. It was this cleaning app in VR, and normally, if doing such a monotonous task, it's not a great experience. But doing it in VR, and I was excited to sweep the floor or wash the dishes, and.
This is what humanity has gotten to.
Something clicked in my brain. I was like, this is technology that's really going to, take over, and it's going to be the future. So I brought the technology back to our company, and we built a product there. It was towards real estate, but it was super ahead of its time, and no one was really wanting to kind of take it on. So the product failed. And from there, I was just like, okay, how do I kind of get more into this technology? Because I knew Momentous was looking at kind of the full ecosystem in tech. I wanted to focus more on just VR and AR, and how I could build up that technology, and how I can empower different people to use it, to use it as a practical solution to solve problems. So I found Archiact, which is a gaming company, and I just talked to the CEO. I was like, you know what, you guys have this great technology, you have a great team, and I think we can really kind of build out the enterprise side of things. And I helped that company grow from They were like 20 at that time, and now they're one of the bigger VR AR players in the industry. So they're about 120 now.
Oh, wow. What are they mostly known for?
They're mostly known for VR games. Yeah.
Okay. Like what's their top game?
They just announced a game called Evasion,
okay.
and that one's done with Intel, and they're getting some great reviews and some buzz around that. So I'm excited for them. Yeah.
Cool.
And so how did that lead you to the VR AR A? How did that come up?
Yeah, so shortly, kind of when I first started at Archiact, I was like, we have a great community here. There was a meetup group called Van VR, and they were really kind of great for the independent developers and some of the some of the early stage companies as well. And I was thinking, like, there wasn't really anything kind of focusing on how to scale businesses, how to help companies accelerate growth, and how to tap into getting them to understand how to talk to investors and things like that. And I saw that there was an association that had I think at that time they had probably about 15 chapters, and I approached them to start a Vancouver chapter. And when I was talking to the president of the VR Air Association, I was like, Vancouver has all the tools, right? Because they have the great video games industry, VFX and film have been one of the top industries here for a long time. And they're like, where is Vancouver? I literally think they thought we all lived in igloos and said, hey,
we are not at all on the VIR map.
They had no clue where we were on the map. So I was just like,
okay.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, we'll definitely surprise you. And I think the exciting thing was, we were able to build a team out of leaders within the industry. Yeah, back then there was only like 15 companies, and since then it's just the momentum is carried, and the buzz around the city has been something I never expected at all. Starting this association chapter.
Cool. And then how does someone actually like get involved with that now, like with the VRARA Vancouver?
I would say joining. We take members from students up to corporate companies.
Okay.
So getting involved as a member, going to events, being a part of the VR Air Hub here at Launch Academy, getting a seat there, going to these events that we're building and workshops, and that's really how you get involved. Just getting out there and meeting people and integrating yourself into the community.
Mm-hmm. And would you recommend starting even pre-product, or like you mentioned, students, right? Like when is a good time for them touching in, and what types of students are generally more drawn to the association?
Yeah, I would say get into it as quick as possible. If you have an interest in this technology, just start now, because we're not quite there yet. We're still a couple of years away from this being a technology that's ubiquitous, and there's a lot of tools. There's our association. There's government programming and things like that, which will be able to help these students be able to get into the industry as well. Once I think that's one of our big focuses, is focusing on education and getting more students involved, and getting folks from outside of Canada to look into setting up shop here in Vancouver as well. We're going to be running into a bit of a talent shortage. I think about 30,000 jobs will be available by 2021. So it's going to be pretty crazy, actually. Wow. We need to look at building programs from the grassroots, and the education side is something that we really want to focus on.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, I've seen this happen, not too many times, but once or twice now, right? Like you mentioned Mobile World Congress. I've mentioned on the show before, prior to this, like I was deeply involved with mobile developers and stuff like that. So we did actually run a developer conference at MWC. But it was very much like this at the beginning of the iPhone, right? Everybody's like, nobody's going to build apps on here. Nobody's going to use it for this or that. Or like the idea, like when people started building games for the iPhone, or not just iPhones, but like any smartphone, people are like, other than Snake or whatever the Brick Breaker on the BlackBerry, I don't know. Yeah. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
What?
No, you
Come
do.
on.
I'm giving her less credit than she's known for.
I
but
did grow up under a rock.
she did go under a rock. But like the concept of like, oh yeah, like that's what PlayStations are for. That's what Nintendos are for. Like, why would we play games on our phone, right? So it has very much that kind of same vibe, and I don't have a better term for it than that. And then one day we're just gonna wake up and it's just gonna be this normal thing. Like, you didn't get a job in VR, like too bad. Like kind of like you just missed it.
We're waiting for that fart app moment. Remember on the iPhone, it was that fart app that got out there, and it took the world by storm. And that's when people started downloading apps.
Yep.
So as an industry, VR AR isn't quite there yet. The content isn't compelling enough for people to jump into the technology or download an AR app on their phone or to buy a VR headset.
How is it doing right now in like the enterprise level where like obviously there's a lot of talk about VR being used for training and for educational purposes? Like where are we now and how do you see that growing? Do you see that being one of the most influential like kind of ways that we can use VR?
Yeah, so enterprise is really going to drive the technology and it's being used on many fronts right now. It's being used in surgical simulations, so doctors can actually put on a headset and operate on a human body without actually having to make mistakes on a real human. So there's that, and then you see training from companies like Lamazoo, who's doing mining training and mining simulations, and that's already being used in these type of environments. And then Walmart just deployed, I think, about 17,000 headsets to their staff around the world.
Wow.
To be able to train before they get into a Walmart. So it's going to be a part of our everyday lives, and really what's going to drive the technology is the practical applications of this technology.
Because that to me is what made the most sense. Like even the first time I was introduced to VR was actually because of you. I mean, I went to a conference and that's where I met Dan, and I was there and it was my first kind of introduction to the VR industry. I had never even played a VR game. I played a few, and then Dan invited me to Archiac to go and test out a bunch of their games, and I played that like Google drawing game.
Oh, Tilt Brush, yes.
And it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, if this was available to me when I was a kid, like developing like my creative side, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
And then obviously, even after playing the games and everything, I played a couple like shooting ones and quest ones, and I was like, like I think this is more exciting if I can use it to kind of be more creative or learn. And the whole application in the medical industry is so exciting. I just hope that like, I mean, I don't know where we are right now. Like, how common is it that is this being used in medical school?
Yeah, it's being used everywhere. It's not quite ubiquitous, but on the enterprise side, a lot of hospitals are using it. A lot of medical organizations are using it. It's being used for PTSD patients to tap into, anxiety and depression, and then also, like a training simulation. That's kind of the biggest use cases right now. And then almost every industry is using it. Real estate's using it to visualize spaces.
Do you think we'll use it soon for like learning how to drive? I think that would be really cool. Having a VR experience.
A little bit scared, but go on.
I mean, obviously driving is different, but like to get like say like a completely new driving student just comfortable with every.
But I prefer it to like a written test.
Right?
Yeah. But soon you won't need to learn how to drive, right? We're gonna have autonomous cars, and there's gonna be robots driving us.
I want to have Elon Musk pick me up in some crazy jet. That's gonna be my transportation future.
Then you'll live on Mars potentially, right? 2030. I think that's the timeline.
Yeah.
So one of the things that and I've been on air before, and this is where I'm happy to admit that I'm wrong, as not seeing VR as picking up as fast as I thought it should have.
Yeah.
And I think and my whole thing was like, and now I'm really dating myself, is like I point back to the Virtual Boy. Do you remember that Nintendo one?
Oh yeah.
And then so that thing at the time when they started throwing on commercials like on YTV and all that stuff, like when I picked one up,
oh my God,
when I picked one up
really
at the when I
yourself.
pick it up at the store, right? Like, and then I see like this like 8-bit like Super Mario. It's like, man, it's just Super Mario, only even no colors, and like I gotta wear this stupid goggle thing.
Yeah, and it was red. And
yeah,
I think
it was
some
ridiculous.
People got these weird flashes in
Yeah.
their eyesight. Yeah.
So between that and the fact that I have to pay more for 3D movies at the movie theater, like I think that kind of gave me like a turn off. And so to me, one of the biggest kind of roadblocks is like the physical, the goggles or devices or whatever you talk about.
Yeah.
What do you see as kind of like the biggest kind of roadblock from it being, as you put it, ubiquitous?
It's definitely the technology. So yeah, the headsets. In order for people to want to use it every day, it's got to look like sunglasses or something that's not as intrusive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now it looks too bulky, it's dorky, and it's taking up so much space in your home, and it's super expensive. So price needs to go down as well. And then also the content just really sucks right now. For most of it, like I won't go into a VR experience for more than about an hour, because I haven't really picked up anything that really makes me want to use it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to change, right? We need to figure out what that content is, what that killer content is. Basically, is what the whole industry is waiting for, and a use case that will really kind of drive people towards that technology. And if you remember the mobile days, it took a while, right?
Yep.
There was a Palm Pilot, there was a BlackBerry, or even before that, it was just like the brick phones, right?
The Nokia E series.
Yeah, and it's gonna take.
I just gave you a look there. Name dropping stuff. It's nothing to be proud of.
I remember that. Wow, you're really old, man.
I'm really old.
And he looks really young, and I have no idea how. He eats 0 vegetables.
Well, he's Asian. Us Asians, we never age.
It's the products. I'll share my list with you later. My 3-step process.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Yeah, so the main thing is content, price, and the headsets itself. So I think once that goes down, and we're pretty close. I would say about a few years we'll start seeing things really change, and we'll see something that will get people like the average Joe onto the technology. So Apple is going to be releasing something in 2021, as most in most technologies, and
is that a Dan Bomb exclusive? Quote it.
Don't quote me on it. Oh shit!
Shout out to my media buddies. Write an article about this.
No, it's kind of everywhere right now. They're saying they're scheduled for 2021 if things go well.
Yep.
And a lot of the other companies are following suit, but they've mostly said with Apple, they always take that wait and see approach, right? So they're really building something that's going to be meaningful, and it's going to be, I think, AR, where they'll have AR glasses, and you'll be able to walk around and integrate, or it'll integrate with the world around you.
Yeah, that's what's really exciting. AR is so exciting because of the fact that I can be in my own environment, but it's enhanced with all the information and technology that I would like. So for me, it's like Google Maps. I'm so excited for Google Maps.
It's going to change staycation into a new realm. Yeah. Nobody just goes anywhere anymore.
Because honestly, my biggest constraint with the VR goggles is I was looking at this article the other day about like immersive like film experiences where you have your VR goggle and you're watching a movie through your goggles.
Yep.
And my concern was, how am I supposed to eat ice cream when I've got a headset on? I can't see the bowl. That's my problem.
can't
but
see
in
the
AR, you could, because it's just digital overlays on top of your reality, so that you could still eat the ice cream. The ice cream might be changing in colors, or you might be eating a penguin or something.
Well,
and if Alex has his way, shout out to Shape Immersive. The penguin will be climbing on top of your ice cream. So there you go.
That's a little shout out to Alex.
Bring that idea to Alex.
He has that idea. He spends a lot of time in his ideas. He put up this post yesterday about being creative and stuff, so I'm sure he's thought of it.
He probably has, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about the VR AR hub now that we're talking about Alex and where the industry is going. And so this is, in the previous episode, we did mention the VR AR hub and announced the launch, and it's been all over social media, so I'm pretty sure everyone's aware. But things are really going to be kicking off as of January. Applications are open, but let's hear from your side what you think this hub is going to bring to the industry and why you decided to associate with it through the VR AR Association.
Yeah, so we're excited to partner with Launch Academy on the VR AR hub, because with where the industry is at right now, we really need to focus on community. And the organization that has been really kind of killing it in that space and really cultivating community and growth has been Launch Academy, and it was kind of a no-brainer for us. And when we had that opportunity basically come to us, we thought with what the industry needs, especially on the early stage side, the 1 to 2 man shops or women shops, or this like 5 to 10 folk shops. I think that's really what needs to help the most, because there's a lot of these companies that really need mentorship on how to scale a business, how to accelerate their growth, how do you talk to investors. And Launch Academy already has that infrastructure in place, and being able to integrate the VR AR community into that is only gonna help drive the growth in the city. Yeah,
and we're really excited to be able to tailor our program to VR AR companies, because we're here to help entrepreneurs, but there's always been a bit of a constraint with that industry, just because it does require the right equipment and it does require really specific kind of mentors. Yeah. Right. So that's where we lacked, and then having this opportunity to grow that and have a program that's able to tailor to include the VR AR industry is really exciting.
And I think like one thing, so I spent the last couple of days, we've started talking to people who have been interested in joining the hub and things like that. And it's a breath of fresh air in the sense of creativity. And what I mean by that is traditionally for Launch Academy, I say that traditionally, we were around 6 years, and it's not that long. Yeah. But we get a lot of career changers, people who work in the field, and then they see a problem in, let's say, their industry, and they can't stand it anymore, and they want to solve it. And generally speaking, these people can be ex-accountants, ex-developers, so on and so forth. When it comes to VR, what I'm seeing is a lot of ex-animators, ex-film people, ex-entertainment people. And these people, like, they, when their parents were telling them to, like, go to school, be a doctor, all the kind of more traditional things, they're like, no, screw this, I'm going to be creative.
So the fun people.
Exactly. I PC'd
no offense
that.
To all of our mentors.
That, but Sade just went there. But just like, when I started talking to them, they don't just have one idea, they have 8 ideas. And in business speak, that's not necessarily the greatest thing. Yeah. But we always talk about how startups commonly fail, and you want to give yourselves as many chances to go into the ring as you can, because that increases your odds of success. And the fact that like they have these 8 ideas, and it's just my job or our job at Launch Academy here to be like, okay, focus. Let's try this one. Let's have a methodical approach to how we can take it to market. Like, are you getting the right crowd? Are you getting the right audience? Yeah. No, let's move on to the next one, right? And we can keep doing that. But sometimes when it's over and over again, and there's no offense to people who build marketplaces, because we have had a ton of successful marketplaces in there. But when you're building like the same thing over and over again, it becomes a lot of like copy paste, right? Like, I know a lot of people who've tried to attack the job market, so they build job marketplaces, and some they're very successful and they have their own niche, but it's very difficult when there's already 4 or 5 major players out there. And where do you start? You start off by, well, they have this basic function. I'm going to copy that function. Versus, everything's kind of clean slate right now.
Yeah.
And so there's like a freshness and a creativeness to what these folks are building. And so that was what was getting me excited yesterday when I was just on the phone talking to, I can't even remember who. There was about 2 or 3 calls that I did yesterday. But just the way they're able to stretch the imagination. Some of them are contractors right now, and they'll be like working with I don't know, a certain news channel or I don't know, a media company and stuff like that. And they're making that push to push the industry forward from that angle too.
Yeah, it's going beyond anything we've ever known.
Exactly.
And our job to take something that's going beyond anything we've ever known and find a market fit and find a way to hopefully make money.
I thought you were going to quote Buzz Lightyear there.
Like, what? Come on. Yeah, that's a challenge for it's an exciting challenge.
Yeah, it's great. And I think with the VR AR creators and entrepreneurs, getting to rub shoulders with some of the other folks that are already here is going to be important, right? Yeah. You're going to see these very organic type of relationships that build out of just being at Launch Academy. So I think for VR AR companies, it makes a lot of sense. And to get advice from like you folks and to also get advice from companies who have been through that stage before. And I love the whole visa program that you guys have, where you're bringing international companies into Launch Academy and getting them situated here. So I think with a lot of the VR AR energy around the world, we'll be able to set some of these guys up over here as well.
Yeah, so and we're excited. Like Dan said, right? Like one of the things that I always talk about Vancouver, and obviously I'm biased because we grew up here, right? But like the games industry has always been strong. Like people are so surprised when I go out of town that like Electronic Arts was based here.
Yeah.
Like they're always surprised. I'm like, yeah, they're big campuses here.
Yeah, that flies under the radar, but
it's because they're in Burnaby, honestly speaking. Yeah. But it's because they need that much space, right?
Yeah.
And you already mentioned the film school. Like all the stuff is being filmed here. I don't know if you guys watch The Flash, but it's super annoying when they're filming all the time and we're trying to drive in downtown here, and Flash is trying to save our world once again.
I'm just trying to get to work.
Can you save the world later?
Yeah.
Just go back in time. You can run through time, man. Like.
Yeah, no, the film industry is also a pretty obvious application. I just don't know how that looks right now.
Yeah,
do you have anything to say about that?
It's still early. Yeah. There's a lot of 360 content coming, but they're still trying to figure out how to make that content compelling and something that people will watch as opposed to going to flat screen.
So the last time I put on a headset, it was a friend of mine who made me watch like the 360 trailer of that movie that just came out, Free Solo, of that climber who climbed El Cap with no rope, which is insane. And they did 360 videos, and then you can actually watch it through a headset. And it's amazing because you can just turn around and look down and look up, and it feels like you're there with him. And so if you have like vertigo or if you're scared of heights, like terrible, but so fun if you're not. And I thought that was really amazing.
Yeah, VR is very good at, kind of taking you out of your body and feeling empathy for someone else, so you can be in the shoes of that climber. Or one cool experience was walking in the footsteps of a Syrian refugee.
Oh wow!
And that was actually one of the first experiences in a 360 movie I saw, and it was pretty profound when you go through that and you feel like you're there, and you're just like you feel this instant empathy to these people. And I think that's where we're going to see VR even elevate even more, is that type of content.
That's amazing.
Immersing people in things that they would never see, or the people that they would never meet, right? And you look at everything that's happening in the States. A lot of the people down south, a lot of them don't even have a passport or have never left their country. What if you put a VR headset on them and show them, parts of Africa, or show them different parts of the world? might change their views on how the world outside of their state is. So I think that's where I'm excited with that narrative content.
Yeah, and then that loops right back to like just education and like
National Geographic needs to get on that.
Oh my God.
Oh, they're already on it. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. What's that?
That's my doorbell.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Hello. Cool.
But I guess I'll end on this question: is what's kind of one use case that you see right now that nobody's talking about that you think any of the R's, XR, MR, Star R, whatever,
I like that one.
that nobody is thinking about right now, but it's just gonna come up right under them and it's
If I knew that, I might be a rich person, and I wouldn't tell you guys.
So he does know.
I think the stuff Alex is working on is very interesting. The cloud infrastructure for AR.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people are tackling that. 6D.ai is, but there's not a ton of people kind of looking at that.
If for everybody listening, Google Shape Immersive, definitely.
We can probably leave a link.
Yeah.
We have that
pretty
technology.
amazing. And I was talking to Alex about it, and he obviously, I'm not a techie person, so he had to really explain what he was doing to me. There he was doing.
Oh, what was he doing to you?
Nothing. He was just speaking. Okay.
Him and his mind
this
game.
This gone downhill very quick.
He went into detail about how all of this is gonna work, and then my first reaction was like, "Wow, you're really entering this market super early." And he was like, "Yeah, really early, but it's gonna happen. Like it's gonna come around. We're gonna get to that point, and then he's gonna be the person there ready to provide the data needed to create these experiences." So Google Shape Immersive.
So
really,
what we'll do is, we'll look back at this video, 2 years, 3 years from now, and we'll go back and do this. So Alex, I would like shapeimmersive.com to be on this burger right here. And we'll go back and we'll edit it out and it'll just kind of curve in.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so we give you a plug there. Cool. Before we kind of wrap up, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Or any announcements?
I'd like to shout out my mom. Hi, Mom.
All right. Hi, Dan's mom.
Hey, there's only one mom on this show.
I actually don't think she's watching.
Well, we'll make sure she watches. Shout out to Shade's mom. Make sure you tell Dan's mom to watch. My mom will not be watching.
I think that the shout out is just to the whole VR AR community. We're excited of the growth. We're excited to be in Launch Academy. I think working with the whole team here already has been amazing, and it's gonna mean really big things for 2019. And basically, I think we have an event partnered with AWE, which is happening on Tuesday. So if you're around, I think it might be sold out. Plugging a sold out event. Don't come. Please don't come.
Go to the next one.
But just keep up to date with our social media and our Twitter. We're very active on there.
What's the plugin for that?
So it's VRARA _Vancouver as our Twitter. And
they do
Facebook
not have a
and Instagram
LinkedIn
as well.
page. And today I was talking to Alex about that. I'm like, you guys need a LinkedIn page. So now they do, because I inspired them to make one.
I thought Alex was going to ask you.
I'm going to take all credit for this.
So every time you
now have a LinkedIn page.
Yeah.
Every time they have a post now, Shade's just going to comment like, I told you.
I just can never tag them on LinkedIn.
Well, we have our global LinkedIn, so we kind of tie into that. But I think with everything that's happening with our chapter and how fast we're growing, we definitely need a LinkedIn page and probably our own website at some point too. But
so make sure you follow them on Twitter. It was VRARA _Vancouver. So you get up to date on all the latest events that they host there. You don't necessarily have to be a member for some of those events, or some are.
You don't have to be a member. And most of the tools that we have, we try to give access to the whole community, and especially through the VR AR Hub and some of the workshops and events that we do. It's even free. So we just want people to connect with the community and figure out how they can kind of wrap their heads around it.
Yeah, Cool. So yeah, the one on Tuesday, I believe, I guess is sold out. But stay tuned to our channel, Launch Academy HQ. His channel at VR ARA.
I know.
It's a tongue twister.
It's a tongue twister every time. VRARA_Vancouver.
I just say VR. People get it.
People get it. It starts to be grunting sounds.
There is stuff happening today and tomorrow in the space. So the VR AR Hub is partnering with Circuit Stream.
Cool.
And they're doing tons of workshops today and tomorrow. So I believe if you just Google Circuit Stream Vancouver, it'll be the first thing that pops up. If you're interested in any of that and learning how, what are they teaching? Mobile applications.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're teaching Magic Leap as well. So you'll have access to that headset, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, sign up. Might be a bit too late for today, but maybe tomorrow. For the workshops for tomorrow.
For sure.
Yeah.
So one other thing that, when we were prepping the show, and in all honesty, for you guys, yes, we do prep the show. We don't just show up here and
it might sound like it, unfortunately.
It does sound like it. We spend like a solid, 8 minutes, probably. And we were going through, like, okay, so what can we talk about with Dan? And obviously you and Shadi go way back, but I'm kind of, out in the blue. And one of the things came up is you have this impeccable fashion sense. And I don't know what it's.
I mean, look at him.
This is why Dan's mom needs to watch this episode, because we are blowing up your son. But
he's perfect.
But one of the things that Shadi and I have probably spent this whole year talking about is, like, I've always wanted to, like, change my hair. And it sounds really weird to say this, but, like,
what's wrong with your hair?
I like it. Just plain. It's boring. And so Shadi was like, Dan's hair is amazing. And
I mean, like, Dan is like
also a shapeshifter. So what I did, and I apologize in advance, is I borrowed some of your old hairstyles. So I want you to tell me what my next hairstyle should be. So we're just gonna take a second here, and we're gonna pull them up on screen.
God.
But
dug into the Facebook.
I got it out of the order. If you're insulted, it's Shade's fault. So
I don't really
we're still cool. Take a look at this one first. See what you think. So this one is the flows.
That looks great on you.
So yeah, it's not bad.
So for those watching, it will load up on your screen.
And for those that are listening, we do have a photo of me in some very nice
some
locks.
Good Photoshop skills.
So this was courtesy of producer lady.
Oh, okay, producer lady, good job.
Is that one up now? Okay, can we switch to the next one?
Okay, when was this? Like a couple years ago, maybe? I don't know.
All right.
Oh, that was.
So let's move on to the next one. What about the comb over?
The comb over is sort of what you have going on right now.
I can see the comb over. Yeah, I like that look.
I can't wait for AR to just, like, do this for me. Like, this is too much work. Can we move on to the next one? Yeah. All right, this one was a office favorite, the man bun.
The man bun, or as we like to call it, the Dan bun.
The Dan bun, the Dan Burgar.
That's crazy.
All right, and we have one more, which Shadi and I have different names for, but it's the cool guy tips.
That by far, I think that's your new hairstyle. 100% frosted tips.
That's like,
and you're gonna be the guy that brings it back too.
The whole Nick Carter thing back. 90s is in again, right? Like,
let's bring it back.
And this is the second time I've mentioned the Backstreet Boys this season, so let's see if we can make that an ongoing theme.
I challenge you to bring it back.
Bring the tips back.
The tips. So I think we start a GoFundMe campaign and make that happen.
Oh man, well we'll see what the comments say. Leave a comment if you guys are watching this live or afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one I should go with next? Maybe if I get enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Will Ray fund my haircut?
If we get 2 comments.
2 comments. 2 comments. What?
It's gonna be my mom and I commenting.
Okay. Well, if Shade's mom is out here watching, I would like her advice.
Yeah, okay.
I would sincerely like her advice on what I should do, or it could stay the same. Same as Dan said, same is good. So
I think he was
take
just
all
being
of that.
polite,
I take all of that.
No, I said you need the frosted tips.
The frosted. The funny thing is, is I did dye my hair for the first time in my life in like one of our episodes way back in April, and it lasted for like 3 weeks, and then it was gone. It was like like nobody even noticed, and then it was gone. But thank you very much for so much enjoyment and for coming on the show. Do you have any other announcements for us in terms of?
That was it. The only announcement you stole away from me is happy birthday, producer lady.
And my doorbell keeps ringing.
And yeah, super happy to have you on the show, Dan. Excited to see you around the office more and more now with the VR Air Hub. And we'll keep giving you guys shout outs.
Excited.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me, and we're excited to be a part of this whole Launch Academy ecosystem.
And we'll have more VR guests to come. We'll be the first podcast that's AR applicable or something like that. That's a bold prediction.
We just made that up.
I just made that up. Hey, who knows? If you're working in the space, you want to work with podcasts, I'm super game. But one last announcement. So we're going to have our next episode in 2 weeks' time. Mm-hmm. And Sade, when me and her were discussing, we came up with this kind of crazy concept. So I don't know if you're a fan of James Corden or Mark Wahlberg. Yep. They recently came out with a video talking about Mark Wahlberg's 4 a.m. workout club. And so somehow Sade has convinced me not to work out. That never happened. But we are going to attempt to wake up at 4 a.m. for the entire week. And so stay tuned on our Instagram channel, especially Launch Academy HQ, on our live. We're going to be posting on there all the way up, and we're going to talk about the results on the next episode with our guest.
Alex from Lenful.
Alex Benjamin. Mm-hmm. And the spoiler alert is he's also agreed to do this with us.
Yes. So this challenge is we really want to see how productive we could be if we wake up at 4 a.m. every day for a whole week. Sleeping. And how much can you get done? Because we all agree that nothing productive happens after 8 p.m.
No, we don't all agree that.
I agree that nothing productive happens after 8 p.m.
I think you're going to find out we don't have that much production.
We all have to report back in a week, so stay tuned on everything we got done in that 4 a.m. week. And I'm really excited for everybody's report.
Really dreading it.
And Alex Benjamin is fully in. And it was funny because we just threw it out there as like, let's see if maybe he's in too. And Sam was like, he was not going to be in. And I messaged him on Facebook. And then he was like, sounds fun. I'm in. That was his response. Gotta love him.
All right. So thank you very much for tuning in. We did go a little long today, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again, Dan. And we'll catch you on the next one. All right. See ya.
Bye. Are we live?
Is this thing on?